Welcome to our channel. Embark on a journey through our video series dedicated to comprehensively covering the content of the CITB book, Health, Safety and Environment Test for Managers and Professionals. Throughout these videos, we delve into the crucial topics outlined in the book. Section A, Legal and Management. Section B, Occupational Health, Well-being and Welfare. Section C, General Safety. Section D, High-risk activities. Section E, Environment. Section F, Specialist activities. In this particular video, we focus on Section B, 04, Occupational Health and Welfare. For your convenience, a link in the top right corner of the video allows easy navigation through the entire series. We are certain that by engaging with this video series, you will be thoroughly equipped to effectively handle your CSCS card. Keep in mind, the CSCS test typically lasts around 45 minutes, and scoring at least 45 out of 50 questions correctly is required to pass. Before we delve into the content, please show your support by liking and subscribing. Your support means a lot to us. Let's embark on this learning journey together.
You are working in a safety-critical role and have purchased over-the-counter medication due to feeling unwell. What action must you take to protect the safety of yourself and others? Inform your supervisor immediately of the medication's possible side effects. Do not come into work until you have completed the course of medication. Continue your normal duties, but inform your colleagues of your potential symptoms. Come in later and leave earlier to reduce the daily hours you are working. Which one of the following must support a drugs and alcohol policy that is being introduced? Education of the harmful effects of misuse. Arrangements of the service level agreement. Increased number of mental health first aiders. Agreement from all supply chain companies. Which one of the following is a reason why recreational drug and alcohol misuse must be considered in a substance misuse policy? It is a risk to the individual and others if they are at work and still under the influence. It is an employer's duty of care to highlight the risks of misuse outside of the workplace. It will ensure that a prescribed limit is defined to control out-of-hours misuse. It will act as a deterrent and reduce the number of recreational users in the company. Why is it essential to manage the misuse of psychoactive substances in the construction environment? To gather data in line with a drugs and alcohol policy to help control health and safety risks. To mitigate the risks of an individual's altered mental function and emotional state. To provide evidence of an embedded behavioural safety culture when tendering for future work. To remain competitive in the sector in order to attract and retain a high level of talent. A construction company is introducing a drugs and alcohol D&A policy to improve their health and safety arrangements. Which of the following essential components need to be included in this policy? 1. Education and information throughout all levels of the organisation. 2. A summary of the D&A service provider and their collection officers. 3. A thorough training programme for D&A appointed persons. 4. The prevention and rehabilitation support offered to employees. 1 and 2 only. 2 and 3 only. 1 and 4 only. 4 and 3 only. When considering the risks of the effects of drug and alcohol use, employers need to consider the implications of misuse outside of the working environment. Is this statement true? Yes, employers must make it clear that the misuse outside of the working environment will not be tolerated. No, employees' conduct outside of the working environment is out of the employer's contractual control as it has no impact. Yes, recreational misuse by an employee can have an impact on the health and safety of everyone in the working environment. No, it goes against an employee's human rights if an employer interferes and controls recreational misuse. The Legionella bacteria that cause Legionnaire's disease are most likely to be found in which of the following? A boiler operating at a temperature of 80 degrees centigrade. An infrequently used shower hose outlet. A cold water storage cistern containing water at 10 degrees centigrade. A cold water supply directly from the mains. Achieving a good level of occupational health on a construction project will be adequately achieved if the health risks are identified at the project design and planning stages. Health risks are discussed at the project planning and execution stages. External occupational health provider is given an overview of the health risks. Health risk control measures are followed during the execution phase. To comply with the control of lead at Work Regulation 2002, which one of the following will form part of the health surveillance programme? A lung function test. A blood test. An audiometry test. A visual skin examination. Health surveillance and monitoring programs are the most important elements in regard to managing an organisation's occupational health risks. Is this statement correct? Yes, health surveillance and monitoring are legal requirements and are the foundation for managing these risks. No, although they identify health risks, they are only a part of a much bigger occupational health strategy. Yes, health surveillance and monitoring systems are the only accurate way to establish the health risks. No, they are not the most important elements, but they need to align to the outcomes of risk assessments. Which one of the following could cause occupational dermatitis? Working for long periods of time wearing gloves. Contact with another person who has dermatitis. Contact with oily clothing and rags. Working in the sun without sun protection. Why must solvents not be used to clean hands? They remove the protective oils from the skin. They will severely burn the skin. They will block the pores and ducts of the skin. They can cause skin cancer. Identify one cause of irritant contact dermatitis. A substance that dries out on the skin resulting in skin damage. A reaction from your immune system that affects the skin. Medications weakening the skin and blood vessels within. excessive exposure to ultraviolet light on unprotected skin. Which one of the following is a bacterial disease associated with the presence of rats? Psittacosis, leptospirosis, mesothelioma, Legionella. You are working near a watercourse and you start to feel unwell with flu-like symptoms. Which one of the following actions must you take? Go and see your doctor and explain your working environment. Continue working and see if you start to feel better. Inform the site health and safety advisor. Take some medication and have a few days off work. You are working on a brownfield redevelopment site where a number of health hazards have been identified. Which two of the following areas on site could pose a risk of workers contracting Legionella? Areas with a heavy covering of dried pigeon droppings. Areas where rats are nesting or have been nesting recently. Areas with quantities of rust, sludge, scale and organic matter. Areas with plaster walling that contains infected animal hair. Areas with redundant water storage tanks where the water is stagnant. When testing the water quality of cooling systems, the service provider reported results that identified a risk of Legionella growth. Which of the following two conditions in the cooling systems would have identified this risk? 1. The water temperature in some parts of the system were between 20 to 45 degrees centigrade. 2. The system was free from deposits of scale and organic matter. 3. The system had evidence of water droplets that could be circulated. 4. The water temperature in all parts of the system were between 30 to 55 degrees centigrade. 1 and 2 only. 2 and 3 only. 3 and 4 only. 1 and 3 only. Which one of the following organisational factors can be consequences of workplace stress? Inadequate health and safety. Improved communication. Business efficiency. Robust decision-making. You have observed that a member of your team has stopped engaging in meetings and lacks concentration. You are concerned these could be early indicators of work-related stress. As a manager, what should you do next? Discuss your concerns with the employee, make reasonable adjustments, and guide them towards an employee assistance program. Discuss your concerns with the employee and ask them to think about how they can improve their engagement and concentration levels. Give the employee a copy of the health and well-being policy and ask them to choose an intervention that may help them. Monitor the situation with the employee for a few more weeks, and if the symptoms escalate, have a discussion about support and intervention. You notice that a recently promoted worker has stopped having breaks with the others and is always last to leave at the end of the day. What could this be an indication of? They could be trying to impress the management on site because they are looking for a pay rise. They could be suffering from stress, and an informal catch-up should be arranged as soon as possible. They could be trying to cover up other people's mistakes, and an investigation needs to take place. They could be taking materials from the site, and checks need to be carried out immediately. When developing a questionnaire to gather information from employees about work-related stress, which one of the following question categories is the least likely to gather reliable and valid data? The level of communication and sharing of information. The physical working environment. The type of work and how it is designed. The access to training and awareness courses. Which one of the following must be in place when providing shower facilities on a site? Shower cubicles that can be locked and are sufficient in number for both men and women to use in a communal welfare area. Shower cubicles that can be used by men and women but separated by a partition within a communal welfare area. Shower cubicles that can be used by men and women within a separate lockable room accessible to only one person at a time. Shower cubicles that can be used by men and women at pre-booked time slots which can be used by only one person at a time. What has to be done if a site is going to temporarily shut down over a holiday period and the toilets do not flush a week before this scheduled closure? Put a sign on the door explaining that the toilets are out of order. Arrange to get the toilets fixed as soon as possible. Arrange for a number of portable toilets to be provided. Ask one of the contracted plumbers to fix the toilet flushers. When would the use of private facilities, such as toilets in a local restaurant, be permitted for contractors to use? When there is no alternative and the duration of work does not exceed 1 week. When the project is at groundwork stages with limited personnel on site. When there is no alternative and the duration of work does not exceed 1 month. When the workers refuse to use the temporary portable toilets provided on site. To ensure legal compliance of the welfare arrangements when completing a project site setup, which two of the following must be taken into account? That all the facilities are detailed in the construction phase plan. That the opening hours of the canteen can cater for peak project numbers. The cleaning and maintenance regimes of the facilities. The consequences of vandalism highlighted in the health and safety policy. That a fully stocked first aid room is provided and staffed by a qualified nurse. The Food Safety and Hygiene England regulations state that food intended for sale or supply must adhere to specific temperature controls to ensure safe levels. Which of the following are the two regulated temperatures? 1. Must be hot at or above a minimum temperature of 63 degrees centigrade. 2. Must be cold at or below a maximum temperature of 3 degrees centigrade. 3. Must be warm at or above a minimum temperature of 37 degrees centigrade. 4. Must be chilled at or below a maximum temperature of 8 degrees centigrade. 1 and 2 only. 2 and 3 only. 1 and 4 only. 3 and 4 only. As part of the site setup of basic welfare facilities, which of the following must be in place to accommodate men and women? 1. Wash basins must be equal in number to the number of toilet cubicles. 2. Showers must be available in case dirty work occurs during the build. 3. Facilities must be pre-booked via an electronically auditable rota system. 4. Wash basins must allow for the washing of face, hands and forearms. 1 and 2 only. 2 and 3 only. 3 and 4 only. 1 and 4 only. Which one of the following is an example of indirect discrimination in the workplace? An employer who does not recruit a visually impaired person as they do not like guide dogs. An employer who does not interview an applicant due to their race and cultural background. An employer who only gives full-time employees the chance of promotion and further development. An employer who unfairly treats an employee over others because they are a family member. Workplace harassment of one of your colleagues is occurring. Although you are not the target of this harassment, you are legally entitled to pursue a claim. Is this statement correct? Yes, as long as you have the evidence that an offensive environment is being created. No, it is not involving you, so is not detrimental to your working environment. Yes, as you feel it is not acceptable and it needs to stop immediately. No, it is just a case of banter between colleagues that has gone too far. When promoting an equality and diversity culture on site, what must employers provide to enhance health and safety productivity and improved working conditions? Clearly understandable safety information and messages. A process for workers to follow to suggest improvements. A series of toolbox talks for staff that focus on the subject. Giving certain workers responsibility for raising awareness.
Congratulations on your progress. Every step brings you closer to your goals. Keep embracing knowledge until you achieve your desired success. Look for the link in the top right corner to seamlessly transition to the next video.